Ferguson, you're back. Ah, what took you so long? Oh, this is wonderful. This is perfect. Thank you so much for my chocolate. You know that I love chocolate when I'm disturbed, upset. First of all, I'm upset with Dr. Ashby for not sending me my nerve pills. He's really to blame for this mess. I'm a bit beside myself. As you know. Oh, and you brought me a drink. Did you make my cheerwine punch? Oh, yes, you did. And what is this glass? It's my father's glass. It's his Archie glass. Oh, thank you, Ferguson. Oh, this is so sweet. You always know how to cheer me up and make me forget my troubles. Thank you so much, Ferguson. Without my medication, I'm simply... I'm all aflutter. I can't think. Clary didn't tell me. Thank you again. I appreciate your hospitality and your consideration. Yes, I'll be all right. Except for the fact that I'm trapped in here, in this room. It's the only one they won't come to. If I had known, I would have gotten out of the house before now. But Clary didn't tell me because she loves to see me all upset. We have a contract with them. They come at the same time. But I suppose this was a special occasion, what with the dinner party with the governor tomorrow night. But still, she could have told me when they were coming. Well, I understand it's important to have the chandelier dusters here, but they disturb me, Ferguson. They upset me so. I can't even speak. These men, they're so big and bulky and sweaty, and that one man, well, of course I don't know his name. They all look the same. There's one who's especially muscular, and his shirt is always straining against his arm muscles. I believe his name is Curtis. I don't know why you're laughing at me. I don't know his name for sure. I'm sure Clary does. And ringing my bell at this point would do no good, because she is down there just fawning all over him. I'm sure I don't know. I can't bear to be in the room when they're here. I need my pills, my nerve pills, and Dr. Ashby refused to send me more until I come see him in his office. The nerve of him. I see him regularly. I see him at the club. I see him at polo. I see him regularly on the golf course and the tennis court. There's no need for me to come to his office to get my pills. But he insists. Well, I have no idea how long we'll be in here. I do appreciate you keeping me company. You have been a wonderful servant and a friend of our family for so many years. You've watched me grow up, Ferguson. You're almost like an uncle to me. And you always know how to make me feel better. Well, of all the rooms that they'll go to, this is the only one with no proper chandelier or fancy light fixture. And this is the room I don't care for, but I have to be in here because they won't come in here. I don't want to be in the same room with these men, these sweaty, muscular men, their chest hair. So here I am, stuck in this room with my husband's little cars. He insists on collecting these small cars, the little models. I don't know the scale. My husband could tell you all about them. And of course, several of these are like the ones he bought at auction recently, the real cars. I believe they're at our summer house. I'm not sure. Some of them I haven't seen. Of course, some of these I know, and some of these you know. You and I together. We have our secrets, don't we, Ferguson? And we keep our secrets. Yes, we do. Thank you so much. I appreciate this. My blanket. Bless you, Ferguson. It is chilly up here. Is it chilly to you? I'm chilly. I'm going to have to cover up a bit with my blanket to stay warm. That's Bella. Oh, Ferguson, will you please stay with me? Stay with me until they leave. Thank you. Thank you. I know that is not true. And you know that is not true. I have no problem with those men, especially Curtis. I just happen to... I do believe that is his name, is it not? Do you not know his name? No, of course I don't have feelings for the man. I'm suddenly warm. Oh, okay. I'll admit it. The man does things to me that are not proper for a lady like myself. They're not proper. To see someone and just become overcome with this warmth. So I feel that sometimes, Ferguson, I feel tempted, which is not proper at all. He is a commoner, Ferguson, and I'm a married woman. I'm a happily married woman. What are you getting at, Ferguson? What are you implying? I told you I did it once. I will not do it again. And it was a long time ago. Don't make me do it again, Ferguson. I'm not a young lady. I cannot possibly perform the way I did then. That was 20 years ago. I was in college. I was in Amsterdam. I will not be held accountable for the things that happened that summer. I do understand that you are the only one who knows. The only reason you know is because I had a little bit too much to drink one night, and I accidentally called my mother and father without thinking. My speech was slurred, but it was not that much. You got lucky when you guessed that I had been partaking of some alcohol. That's all. I will not do it again, Ferguson. You wouldn't. You can't possibly. You wouldn't dare. You can't tell my husband. I have done nothing with the man. Nothing. There is nothing to tell, Ferguson. You really would, wouldn't you? You want it that bad. Ferguson, I can't do it like I used to. Plus, I'm all upset and my voice is scratchy. There's enough dust in here to choke a horse. Do you promise to stay quiet if I do? And again, you have to remember, it's been a long time, Ferguson. It was 20 years ago that I did that. You promise you won't tell? It was a one-time thing. I swear I never performed in a burlesque show again after that. That night was a wake-up call for me, Ferguson. I don't even remember the lyrics to the song that I had to sing. They only made me do it because I'm a Southerner from the United States and they enjoyed my accent. Okay, maybe they didn't force me. Maybe I volunteered. That's neither here nor there. I did enjoy myself. And I think fondly back to those memories quite often as I go about my day, I remember the young girl I used to be. Okay, but just one time, Ferguson. And you promise not to laugh because I can't sing like I used to. Let me see if I remember the lyrics. I was on a swing and it looked like a big moon. And my dress, well, we won't talk about how I was dressed. Oh, let's see. It's been a long time since I sang a cappella. And my voice coach is long gone. I haven't seen him in years. Let's see. You'll have to forgive me. He sleeps out there, out where the coyotes wail. The reason he ain't at the bar with the boys is quite a dismal tale. Ferguson, you have no right to ask me to sing this song. Do you remember why? I just thought of this. You have no right to ask me to do anything. Do you remember what happened last summer when I went to Antwerp to get my elbows done? Do you recall that day when you picked me up from the airport? Let me remind you what happened that day. You had worked on buffing out the leather in my mother's Mercedes. The convertible? Is it ringing a bell with you, Ferguson? And you spilled some of that polish on the floor, in the floorboard on the passenger seat. And you were terrified. You picked me up. You were absolutely ashen. You were pale. And you didn't know what you were going to tell my mother about the spill on the floor. It was dark and greasy. Do you recall what I did for you, Ferguson, as a favor to you? And I told you that you would owe me one. No. I have a model of it right here. Let me show you. Perhaps if you have a visual aid, you remember this car. See this? Look familiar? This was like my mother's Mercedes. She still has it, I believe, and I would be willing to bet that if I reminded her, she would remember how much she loves this car. It is, I have to look myself, I don't remember. This is a 1966 Mercedes-Benz 280 SE. And you spilled leather polish right in there. So when we arrived at my mother and father's house, I told them that I had brought back some llama placenta treatment for skin tightening, and I accidentally spilled it in the floor. I covered for you, Ferguson. I don't have to sing you anything. I thought so. So we are done with the song. I'll keep my word if you keep yours. If Mother found out that was you, I don't know what would happen, and I would not be responsible for the consequences. So we'll both just keep our word, won't we? No mention of Curtis, no songs, and nobody finds out about the car. I think it's a wonderful arrangement. Oh, I am still chilly. Why is there no heat up here? Are there no furnace vents in this room? I suppose not. My husband likes to keep his cars at an even temperature. Likes to keep them cool. I don't really understand why. What kind of chocolate did you bring me today, Ferguson? We have Swiss chocolate. We have praline, hazelnut, dark, milk, and white. Lovely selection. I believe I will have a milk chocolate. Despite our little issues from time to time, Ferguson, you really do take good care of me. And I do appreciate that. Simply wonderful. Mother was so kind to send these to us from her trip over Christmas to Switzerland. Absolute perfection. These are recent additions. Rhett has nowhere to put them yet. The carpenters were supposed to come and add some new shelves to this room for the cars. We currently have, I believe Rhett said we have near about 1,000 cars in here now. And it looks about right. We've run out of room. So Rhett had to have these put on the floor for now. Some of these are ones that we own. Some of these are ones that he would like to own someday when he finds one good enough. Let's see what we have here. Here's a large one. This is an older American car. This is a convertible. I'm not sure. It looks like it's an Oldsmobile. I have to look on the bottom. On the underside of these cars, typically it will tell you what it is. This one is a 66 Oldsmobile Super 88. It's very lovely. It's red and white. It has little visors here, an antenna. And the back of the front seats have handles on them. I suppose for the people in the back to hold on to. I'm not really sure what the point of that is. Oldsmobile. I'm sorry, it's a 55, folks. I don't have my contacts in. I can't quite read it. Oldsmobile Super 88. A fine looking automobile. I do believe we have one somewhere. I've never ridden in it. And of course here is Rhett's Cobra. He has a blue and white one just like this. Bought it in Florida. A Cobra 427 SC. Whatever that means. It's quite beautiful. And the wheels on all these cars do spin and turn a bit. Like that. Beautiful sloping hood. And these little tiny headlights. And I never did quite understand the purpose of this little thing here. I suppose it's if you have a crash or something, it would keep your head from going back. I don't really know, but it seems to me that I believe I'd rather have my head go back than slam into a bar, a hard metal piece like that. I'm not sure. Oh, and then Rhett recently found this one. He did show me this one. This is just like the car that my father gave me on my 16th birthday because I had always wanted one. It's a 1978 Corvette pace car with the T-tops on the top. Absolutely beautiful. Every now and then I have Grayson drive me around in this, and sometimes when I feel especially frisky, I'll drive it myself. It's always exciting to drive myself around. I only dinged it that one time. I ran it into the border, the rock wall of the rose garden. It was just the one time. Daddy fixed it for me. Nothing to worry about. It's just like mine. I can't remember where it is currently. I don't believe it's here. I believe it's possibly up at my mother and father's mountain home. I'm not sure. I have to ask Daddy. He knows where it is. I would love to take it for a drive sometime. And what else do we have here? We have this one. Oh, this is quite nice. It's very sporty. It's a Viper. Is that right? Is this a Viper? A Dodge Viper? Well, I believe it is. A Dodge Viper GTS Coupe. I don't know the year. And the doors on all these cars open. And sometimes the hood or the trunk will open. It's a very sleek car. Very beautiful. And it has two tailpipes, two exhaust pipes in the back. Quite nice. Oh, and this one is simply adorable. Look at this. It's a little Mini Cooper. It's just the sweetest little thing. And it has side view mirrors and a little tiny silver strip on the back. It's part of the bumper. And the front bumper only has pieces of silver on it. It's very, very cute. Very small. And then we have an old Volkswagen Beetle. It's yellow with a little Volkswagen plate on the back. I'm not sure how old this one is supposed to be from the bumpers. I'm guessing possibly after 68. But no, this is a 67. I'm somewhat of an aficionado and an expert on Volkswagens. I don't believe the bumper is proper for a 67 Beetle. I believe they had different bumpers before 68. What else have we got? Oh, Rhett's Trans Am. We're all familiar with this car when he went through his midlife crisis. And that's when he bought this. And he would zoom all around town. He would drive this to the club. He would go play golf and take this car. It was humiliating. We all knew what he was going through. I had that young, fun little secretary. I had to have her dismissed. She was totally improper. Trashy little thing, and I did not care for the way he talked about her. So this is a reminder of his midlife crisis. Brief as it was, because I squashed it like a bug. And I believe this one is a Mustang. It's a Mustang Gt500. Quite lovely, quite sporty. And it has, I believe these are headlights in there, in addition to these on the outside. I will attempt to read the bottom. Mustang, but it does not have the year. I'm sure Rhett could tell us if he was here. He knows all about cars. And he can tell just by looking at one how old it is. I cannot. Except for possibly Volkswagens. I love Volkswagens. Now this one does not look familiar to me at all. I don't believe we have one of these, although it's possible. With this on the front, I would say, I can't read it. Why do they print it so small? It's a Ford 37 Convertible. And it appears that all these are 1/18 scale, according to what I read on the bottom. It's a Ford. And it has this lovely emblem on the front and a white convertible top. They're all made of metal primarily. They do have some plastic, but it's mostly metal. They're quite heavy. Oh, Ferguson, look here. Look here. Oh, He found one like grandfather's. My grandfather had one of these when I was young. Oh, bless him. I did not know he had acquired one of these. My grandfather had one. What was it? I don't remember what type of car it was. I'm still not sure. It doesn't say. This is just like the one grandfather had. Oh, it brings back so many memories. Is that not beautiful? Look at this beautiful car. And it has a wheel, an extra wheel on the side in case you have a flat. And the little doors open. And Ferguson, look at the detail inside there. Look at all that detail. It's red inside, just like grandfather's. Oh, lovely car. I took many happy drives in this car and many rides in this car with my grandfather. We used to go get ice cream in this car. Oh, wonderful memories. Oh, Ferguson, they're coming. I hear their footsteps. They can't possibly come in here. Oh, they're going away. Wonderful, wonderful. I believe they were headed to the elevator. Ooh. They have no reason to come in here. I want them to leave, Ferguson. How long will they be? I can't stand it much longer. I just want them out of my house. And then Clary and the staff can get back to planning our dinner party for tomorrow night. The governor is coming with his wife. And I believe there are several other people that are supposed to attend. I don't remember everybody exactly. Senator Thompson will be here with his wife. I should say his current wife. He's currently in between divorces. Nobody knows how long this one will last. I don't hold out high hopes. She's a twitchy little nervous thing. I considered giving her Dr. Ashby's name. I believe she could benefit from some nerve pills like mine. She's very twitchy, fidgety. I believe I liked his third wife better. Ferguson, these chocolates were just perfect for me right now. As I said, you always know how to cheer me up. And thank you for keeping me company. You are a wonderful man. Oh, they're awesome over here as well. I'm surrounded by cars. I feel like a giant in a parking lot. A very fancy parking lot. I do. I feel like the young man in Gulliver's Travels. That's how I feel around the Lilliputians. It's quite surreal. Look at these cars over here. This one is a DeLorean, like the Back to the Future car. I love those movies. And it has these louvers on the back and tiny windows back here. And the doors, of course, are gull wing doors. They open this way instead of out. I have never driven one, but I have ridden in one before. Rhett took me for a ride in his once. And little windows here that open so you don't have to open the door in case you need to get out the window, reach out for anything. It is stainless steel on the exterior, and it has DMC on the front. And on the back bumper we have DeLorean. This one has a plate that also has DMC on it, and we have these large brake lights and turn signals and reverse lights. A very distinctive, lovely car. Unfortunately for the entire world, DeLorean became involved in some things he shouldn't have, and there were no more DeLoreans, which is sad. And then I have a Mustang, very red, very shiny. My husband is partial to convertibles. This one, and again, it doesn't say what year. I do recognize that it is a Mustang. I do not know what year. I need Rhett here to tell me. He's not here. He travels way too much. Yes, he's off in Oregon looking at some land. Some of our timber is up there, possibly ready to be cut. He's going to do a final survey and review of the property. I'm not sure when he'll return. Hopefully within the next week or so. He's going to miss the dinner party again. It's funny how every time I have a dinner party, he is always gone. He always has to leave. Sometimes he leaves the entire country. And I am forced to do these dinner parties alone. And people are starting to talk. There's nothing I can do, but people are talking. It's just not proper. But he does love his cars. And as I said, I love Volkswagens. Love them. And I have one model here that I bought. I actually bought one myself, Ferguson. I've never bought a model car, and all of these are my husband's. I don't care for them. One of them I bought for myself. This one, it's a Volkswagen Bus. Yes. You know I've always wanted to have one, and I have dropped more than a few hints to my husband and my father, letting them know that there's currently one up for auction in Berlin that I would love to receive for Valentine's Day, which, as we know, is just around the corner. It looks like this. It is expected to go for around $200,000, which I believe puts it right in the middle of the price range for my Valentine's Day gift. This would be perfect sitting in the drive with a big old bow on it on Valentine's Day for me. I'm hoping they get the hint. Sometimes Dad is a little dense. He doesn't get hints like he should. I'm hoping my husband does, though. Perhaps they can talk. It would be embarrassing if they both bought me one. So, I hope we can avoid that. But this is like the one I want, Ferguson. Actually, the one I want is the Samba, which has 21 windows. It has windows in the top, as well as along here. And the one in Berlin is a Samba with the metal trim and the windows and the luggage rack on top. It would just thrill me to no end to receive one for Valentine's Day. At least it wouldn't be as disappointing as Valentine's Day last year. The nerve of him. You remember that? I never asked for a Lotus. He knows I don't care for them. The lines are all wrong. So to walk out in the drive and be presented with that, a Lotus Esprit, just, my whole day was ruined. I suppose he did make up for it with that Bugatti. I had to hide my excitement somewhat. we can't get used to the idea of me being totally thrilled by being disappointed and then somehow compensated. Oh, Clary, fancy meeting you here. I do appreciate that. Thank you very much. I'm sure you followed them around. I'm sure you did. Especially Curtis. I'm not implying a thing, darling. It's okay. You can admit it to me. So you say they are leaving. Will you be following Curtis out the door? I'm playing with you, darling. Thank you very much. Ferguson, I believe our stint here in car prison is over. I believe they are leaving now. That was rather quick. I hope they did a good job. It'd be very embarrassing to have a dinner party and have dust floating down like filthy snow on our table. I don't know how I would explain that. I believe we can go, though. Would you mind putting these cars back where they were? And they could use a good dusting, Clary. If you're not busy, would you mind dusting the cars or getting possibly... Well, Lupita could do it, I suppose, but she's busy in the kitchen right now. Well, one of you work it out, okay? Just dust my cars. And if you would please help get them back, you and Ferguson can help put them back where they go. And Ferguson, thank you for bringing my blanket. And if you would just clean up these things here, I really appreciate it. I believe I'm going to go take a nap now. I'm just exhausted. I'm so tired. I'm completely spent. All this worry and frustration. But now they're gone, I can go rest. Thank you so much, Ferguson. And Clary. If you need me, I'll be in my room. You shouldn't need me. If I need you, of course, I'll ring my bell. Or blow my whistle for you, Ferguson.